everyone, welcome to our English class. Today we are going to tackle the use of modal verbs, nouns and adverbs. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify modal verbs, nouns and adverbs used in sentences. Construct sentences using appropriate modal verbs, nouns and adverbs. Have fun while learning!
Okay class, before we proceed, let's read this conversation. Mr. Safer, I can't take this report card home. Can't you make a few changes? Well, I suppose I could use a larger font. Just kidding. So what are the modal verbs used in this conversation?
Can't and could. Very good. Now, have you experienced expressing yourself the way it should be but have the hard time in conveying your thoughts? In this lesson, you will learn on how to speak with urgency or importance, possibility, and emphasis through the use of modals. You will also learn the different types of modals and their uses. Also, you will build up your knowledge in using modal verbs, nouns, and adverbs appropriately in writing sentences and paragraphs. What is modal? Modal is an expression that carries different shades of meaning. It is used to show or convey meaning with seriousness, certainty, and intensity. There are three types of modals, such as modal noun, modal verb, and modal adverb. Modal verbs are auxiliary or helping verbs which modify or change the meaning of the main verbs. You use modal verbs in giving advice or suggestions, in making requests, or in giving predictions and prohibitions. To show more other uses of modal verbs, here is the list with sample sentences. On the first column, we have the use, the second, the modal, the third column, the sample sentence. First, we have really certain. Modals: will, shall, must, won't, will not, shan't, shall, not, can't, cannot. Sample sentence: a tentative party will be planned secretly, so we use will as the modal. Next, we have very likely. Modal: should, ought to. Sample sentence: the traffic is not heavy. We should be there before the time, so we use should as the modal. Next, possibility. Modals: may, might, could. Sample sentence: it may rain today, so the modal used is may. Next, strong obligation. Modals: must, have to, need to. Sample sentence: the plan must be accomplished without her knowing it, so we use must as the modal. Weak obligation. Modals: should, ought to. Sample sentence: I should see a dentist. I have a bad breath even though I brush my teeth daily, so we use should as the modal. How about this no obligation? Needn't, need not, don't, need to, do not need to, don't have to, do not have to. Sample sentence: I need not brush my teeth now. I will just do it later, so we use need not as the modal. Next, we have offer. Modals: will, shall. Sample sentence, I will bring your things here. So we used will as the modal. Next, request. Modals, will, could, would. Sample sentence, will you open the windows? And we use will as the modal. Next is promise. Modal, will. I will come back after sunset. And we use will as the modal. And that's a promise. Next is decision. Modal, will. I will eat now. And we use will also as the modal. Advice and suggestion. Modals, shall, should, shouldn't, should not. Sample sentence, you should wear appropriate attire for your job interview. And we use should as the modal. How about ability? Modals, can, could. Sample sentence, the students can sing harmoniously. So we use can as the modal. And we have general truth. Modals, can, may. Sample sentence, we can avoid the COVID-19 by following health protocols. And we use can as the modal. Now let's proceed to our first activity. Determine the function of the underlined modal verbs as used in the sentence. Write the letter of your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, number 1. Could you open the door for me? A. Offer. B. Permission. C. Promise. D. Request. And what's your answer? D. Request. That's correct.
Number 2. I will eat now. A. Ability. B. Decision. C. Permission. D. Promise. And what's your answer? It's B. Decision. Number 3. May I go now? A. Decision. B. Offer. C. Permission. D. Request. And what's your answer? It's C. Permission.
Number 4. I can play any musical instrument. A. Ability. B. General truth. C. Offer. D. Promise. What's your answer? It's A. Ability. Now let's proceed to number 5. You must follow the doctor's advice. A. No obligation. B. Permission. C. Strong obligation. D. Weak obligation. And your answer is letter C. Strong obligation. Back.
So here are the answers. Number 1, D. Request. Number 2, B. Decision. Number 3, C. Permission. Number 4, A. Ability. And number 5, C. Strong obligation. Now let's proceed to our activity 2. Read the conversation below and list the modal verbs used. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Now let's have this conversation. Hi Ina. Hello Isa. Do we really need to wear a face mask whenever we go out? Of course Isa. We might get the deadly virus anytime, so we shouldn't take any chances. You're right Ina. We can't take any chances of getting sick. We should always wear a face mask and wash our hands to protect us.
At the end of this lesson, you are expected to identify modal verbs, nouns, and adverbs used in sentences. Construct sentences. Yes, I always wear face mask. The modal verbs used in expressing necessity are might, should, shouldn't. Now let's proceed to our performance task. Write a short paragraph about the activities you enjoy doing at home with your family. Do not forget to use modal verbs, modal nouns, and modal adverbs in your sentences. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. In making short paragraph, be guided by the rubrics. So here's the writing mechanics content. Now we'll have the generalization. Modal adverbs are similar to modal verbs and modal nouns because they express modality. However, they differ in form and the way they are used in the sentences. Modal verbs are used to add information to the main verb. On the other hand, modal nouns name a quality, state, or condition that state modality, while modal adverbs describe or give more meaning of information to verbs and adjectives. Now let's proceed to our evaluation. Match the modal adverb in column A to its correct meaning in column B. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. In column A we have number 1, permissively, number 2, requisitely. Column B we have letter A, used to state something that is essential or important for a particular purpose. B, used to state that something is possible to happen. Number 3, necessarily. Number 4, likely. Number 5, possibly. In column B we have C, used to state something that is granted or given permission. D, used to state that something is necessary or needed. E, in an obligate or necessary manner. F, used to state that something good might happen.
And for your assignment, I want you to share what you want to become in the future by writing your dream profession inside the box. Then write sentences about the rules, duties of that profession using modal adverbs. Write your answers on a piece of paper. And it will look like this. My dream profession is blank, and you write 3 sentences about the rules and duties. So are we clear, class? Do you have any questions? Okay, that's all for today. I hope you enjoy our lesson. Bye! See you next time.